Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's hear it.
We've been going through just a stack of source material this week. We're talking articles, internal memos, economic analyses,
Yeah.
and they all tell this story of extreme contrasts. We're doing a deep dive into the very end of 2025, and what we're seeing isn't a slow change, it's more like a seismic rift.
It really is a study in opposites. I mean, on one hand, you have this sudden, almost unbelievable power given to individuals by new AI.
Right.
But on the other, you have this surprising fragility in our physical world, our infrastructure, our economic systems. They just hit this real-world resistance and, well, they break in unexpected ways.
So we're speeding up and getting more vulnerable at the same time.
Exactly.
And that's our mission today. We're going to explore those two competing forces. We've got sources on tech breakthroughs, economic vulnerability, and this search for something real in a world that feels increasingly synthetic.
And the big idea that frames all of it is that AI has become the world's new miracle material.
It's the perfect analogy.
It is. I mean, you think about it, steel defined the Gilded Age, right? Semiconductors, the digital age. But AI, what Notion's co-founder calls the material of infinite minds, it just redefines what capital and labor even mean.
It allows things to stack up.
In ways we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Economically, not just physically.
And that stacking, it leads us right into our first section. I mean, this thesis is genuinely mind-blowing.
The one-person billion-dollar company.
Yeah. It's not just a theory anymore. It feels imminent. I read that Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, is actually running a betting pool with other tech CEOs on when it's going to happen.
It sounds like science fiction, but the data is just flooding in. The whole idea of the solo founder, it's exploding.
So it's a real trend.
Oh, a huge trend.
Yeah.
In just the first half of 2025, over a third of all new companies were launched by one person, a single founder. It's not the exception anymore. It's, becoming the norm.
That is a staggering acceleration, especially when you think about the old VC model that always wanted co-founders.
Right.
But the numbers, the numbers these tiny teams are putting up, that's what's so wild.
Exactly. Look at the efficiency. Midjourney, the AI image generator.
Right.
They're reportedly clocking in around $500 million in annual recurring revenue. ARR.
Okay, 500 million. With what, 1,000 employees?
With 10.
10.
Just 10. Now think about what a normal software company would need to hit $500 million in revenue. Yeah. Hundreds of people. Sales, engineering, marketing.
You're talking about an entire company's worth of output with a team that could fit in a minivan. It changes the economics completely.
It's the closest we've ever been to making the cost of creation basically zero. And there's another example in the sources, Cursor, an AI coding assistant.
What are their numbers?
200 million ARR with only 20 people. The leverage is so massive that a metric like revenue per employee is just, it's meaningless now.
And the human role doesn't go away. It just gets, elevated? I saw that piece from Ivan Zhao at Notion talking about his co-founder, Simon Last.
Right. Simon Last was, a brilliant programmer, what we used to call a 10X engineer.
The old lingo.
Yeah. But now he's not really writing the code himself that much anymore. He's orchestrating, he's directing multiple AI agents, linking them together.
So he's like a conductor.
He's the conductor of an automated orchestra. And that makes him what they're now calling a 30 to 40X engineer. His value isn't just his own output, but how much he can multiply the AI's output.
So the real bottleneck is human creativity, your ability to manage complexity. And Notion is using this internally, right?
Oh, yeah. They're reportedly using over 700 AI agents for everything. IT help, desk tickets, summarizing meetings, you name it.
But Zhao also had a word of caution. This infinite mind material, it's not perfect. Where did he see the limits?
He was really clear that the leverage isn't universal. AI is amazing at code because code is verifiable.
You can test it.
Exactly. The AI writes a function, you run a test, and you know instantly if it works. The test is the objective truth.
But that doesn't exist for most white-collar work.
Precisely. If an AI summarizes a meeting, how do you verify? You got the nuance right. The context is scattered everywhere. Emails, docs, what people were thinking but didn't say. There's no simple test. So that's why knowledge work is a much harder, slower problem for AI to solve.
Which sets up this tension perfectly. Limitless digital creation on one side.
And then it hits the real world.
And the system just reveals these crazy weaknesses. Let's talk about that reality check, the incident in San Francisco.
The Waymo incident, December 21st. Just a textbook case. A power substation fire knocks out power to 130,000 homes.
And all the traffic lights go dark.
All of them. And a self-driving car is programmed to treat a dead stoplight as a four-way stop. To its credit, Waymo said its cars successfully navigated over 7,000 dark intersections that day.
Okay, so that sounds like a success.
Operationally, at the car level, it was, but the system as a whole still buckled.
So wait, if the cars were doing their jobs, what failed?
The human backup failed. Because the whole city was an anomaly, every car started pinging the remote human support center at the same time, just asking for confirmation.
A flood of requests.
Total flood. It completely overwhelmed the support team. They had to just suspend the service. So the weak link wasn't the AI on the street. It was the centralized human oversight. The system failed at the core, not the edge.
That's fascinating. The whole point is to remove the human, but the human part was the least resilient.
And of course, you know who jumped on that?
Let me guess. Elon Musk.
Yep. Tweeted out that Tesla robotaxis were unaffected, just to highlight the difference between their approaches.
Speaking of the autonomous sector, it's not just operational hiccups. The financial side is getting brutal. The collapse of Luminar.
Yeah, that was a big one. Luminar makes LiDAR sensors. They were a huge player, valued at over $3 billion at one point.
And now?
Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Filed on December 15th, right before Christmas. It was really abrupt.
What was the trigger?
Volvo, their biggest customer. They canceled a 5-year contract in November, and that was it. It just shows that even if your tech works, if the market timing is off and you're dependent on one big contract, the whole thing can fall apart.
And the irony here is, well, it's pretty rich. Musk famously called LiDAR a fool's errand.
Right, he was all in on cameras. But the sources reveal that, despite all that public talk, Tesla was one of Luminar's biggest customers.
No way!
Yeah, they accounted for over 10% of the revenue in early 2024. That gap between the public story and the engineering reality is, well, it's pretty delicious.
So moving from technical failure to governance, we're seeing governments trying to get ahead of this, but not just the tech, the psychological impact.
China's new draft rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a huge development. They're specifically targeting AI services that simulate human personalities.
The ones that create emotional connections.
Exactly. The rules are about safety checks, algorithm reviews, but the most interesting part is this warning. Providers had to specifically warn users against excessive reliance on these AI friends.
The government is trying to regulate emotional attachment.
It seems like it. They're worried about AI becoming a replacement for real human connection, a psychological crutch. They're basically saying, if you're going to sell an infinite mind, you have to manage the psychological fallout when that mind seems to care about you.
That fear of reliance, it connects directly to our next theme, this idea of economic fragility and the desperate search for something authentic that comes from it. I want to start with this phrase that's gone viral on Chinese social media.
The U.S. kill line.
Yeah, it's a brutal term.
It's a vivid one. It's from video games, right?
Yeah.
You cross the line, game over. Here, it describes how someone making a ton of money can be incredibly unstable because their fixed costs are so high.
And if their income dips below that line?
The collapse is fast and often irreversible.
We see it in that case study of Jack, the programmer in Seattle. I mean, on paper, this guy was killing it, earning $450,000 a year.
Top 1% stuff. But his fixed costs were just catastrophic. His mortgage was $12,000 a month.
$12,000?
Add $3,000 for car payments, another $1,500 for insurance. That's $16,500 a month before he's even bought food or paid taxes.
There's just zero margin for error in that lifestyle.
None. So when he gets laid off, which happens all the time in tech, he's already in trouble. The final blow was a $60,000 emergency medical bill. That pushed him below the kill line.
And how long did it take?
6 months. 6 months from earning $500,000 a year to being homeless. It's a gut punch. It shows that high income is not resilience.
And that kind of anxiety, it changes how we consume information. The sources suggest the old World Wide Web. It's kind of dying.
It's being poisoned by the attention economy.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to just read something now without being assaulted by ads. Pop-ups, videos playing in the corner, ads breaking up paragraphs.
It's a hunt for signal in a sea of noise.
Which is why people are leaving. They're migrating their attention to ad-free newsletters, to apps, to AI chat windows. And this retreat from the public web is creating a demand for something else.
Trusted human content. Which brings us to storytelling jobs. That seems like such a soft skill.
It does, but the data is hard. LinkedIn job postings with the word storytelling have doubled in the past year. Over 50,000 open roles.
Why now?
It's a twin crisis. Traditional media is collapsing. Journalist jobs are down 25% since 2000. And at the same time, we're being flooded with AI content that nobody really trusts.
So brands are stepping in to fill that trust vacuum.
That's the theory. They're realizing that in an ocean of perfect generated text, the winner is the most authentic, the most human voice. Authenticity is the only moat you have left.
That search for the authentic, for the durable. It's a great transition to our final quick hits. Let's start with one of the world's most durable companies, Hudson's Bay.
355 years old, it's older than Canada itself, an absolute institution, and now it's in a Toronto courtroom, fighting to avoid a complete shutdown.
The whole model is just obsolete.
Totally. High-end department stores are losing money because luxury brands don't need them anymore. They just sell directly to you online. That old anchor of retail is just a drift.
And you see a similar fight for local culture. Christmas markets, of all things.
Yeah, it's a battle between local craft and global scale. This one city in China, Yiwu, now makes 60% of the world's Christmas decorations.
60%.
It's hyper-efficient. But it means the local woodcarver is being replaced by a resin ornament from a global supply chain.
But some places are pushing back.
Yes. Strasbourg, in France,
Yeah.
one of the most famous Christmas markets, they have actual rules banning mass-produced goods. They require regional sourcing to protect that authentic culture. It's a deliberate choice.
Speaking of deliberate choices, let's talk Patagonia. Their entire brand is about sustainability. They gave the company away in 2022 so the profits could fight climate change.
An incredible commitment. But their latest work-in-progress report for fiscal year 2025 was a real dose of reality.
What did it say?
Well, despite getting to 98% renewable electricity in their own operations, their overall carbon footprint actually went up by 2%.
Wait, how is that even possible?
The supply chain. They used more carbon-intensive materials in some of their new gear, and they admitted that 85% of their products still don't have a real end-of-life solution. It just shows how hard this stuff really is, even when you're all in.
And finally, a trend I did not see coming, the phone-based retirement.
It's a fascinating social irony. Adult children are looking up from their own phones and realizing their parents, the 60-plus generation, are just as addicted.
We're all just scrolling.
The data shows that group spends over 4 hours of their leisure time every day on screens. And 40% of adults between 59 and 77 report feeling actual anxiety when they don't have their device. The dependency is now universal.
This brings us all the way back to the beginning. This tension between incredible individual leverage and shocking systemic fragility. We're building 40x engineers, while six-figure programmers are falling below the kill line.
It really is a moment of stacking and collapse. And to really grasp the scale of it, I think you have to look at geological time. Think about Olympus Mons on Mars,
The giant volcano.
the largest in the solar system. It's 16 miles high, 374 miles wide, 2.5 times taller than Mount Everest. It's just immense.
And why did it get so big?
Because Mars doesn't have tectonic plates like Earth. Here, the crust moves, so a volcano gets cut off from its magma source. On Mars, the crust just sits there over a hotspot for billions of years. So the lava just stacks and stacks and stacks. It's stability, endless accumulation.
And you want to contrast that billion-year stacking with what's happening here.
With the rapid irreversible loss, a major study just came out. It predicts that even if we hit the Paris Agreement's best-case scenario, 1.5 degrees of warming, we'll still lose about half the world's 200,000 glaciers by 2100.
Half of them.
And if we hit 4 degrees of warming, only 18,000 would be left. The peak loss rate is projected for around 2055. We'd be losing 4,000 glaciers a year. That's not slow geological accumulation. That's rapid, human-driven entropy.
So here's the thought I want to leave you with. If AI lets one person build a billion-dollar company in a decade, stacking innovation endlessly like Olympus Mons, and at the same time we're losing 4,000 glaciers a year, what's the lasting legacy going to be? The technological stack that piles up forever, or the rapid, irreversible natural loss that we are overseeing right now? Something to chew on until our next deep dive.